You've started a lot of TV stuff, including Juliet Bravo. What part did you play in Juliet Bravo?
Juliet Bravo? Was I in that? Which one was that? Was that a police one?
Yeah.
Oh, do you know, that came up the other day, this. That slipped my mind, that. This came up the other day. I was asking my butcher, because I'd forgotten what I was in that. He says I thought was a librarian in it, but he says I was a doctor in it. Strangely enough. Hey, that's funny, isn't it? Me being a doctor in something, and I'm on Flips Cross Hospital Radio. I'll tell you something, if I was a doctor in it, there's no doubt I'd have done my research, and I've known about as much as the doctors and nurses you've got working up there know. Well, they might come up and do some war drams if you don't look out. Yeah, mark a few charts.
Your expertise and knowledge has shone through in your recent Radio 4 series. How did you get that prestigious slot?
Well, you know, it was only a matter of time before they woke up at the corporation to me. And they just telephoned me out of the blue and asked me to help them out. And said, you know, our radio situation comedy slots, they're not going too well, Arthur. And we've had a meeting, and we've decided we've got to get some of the old experience, a safe pair of hands in. And that's what they did. I turned up, and we did the shows. And the rest, as they say, is history, isn't it? They've gone down marvellously, haven't they?
I must say, it was the best thing I've heard on the radio in years.
Very kind. That's very kind of you to say so. But it's one of the best things I've heard in years. The other one was something else I did.
What do you make, though, of today's young stars?
Well,
how do they compare with the stars of yesteryear?
Well, it's all a bit too immediate, isn't it, these days? They don't, you know, like I was saying, to start with, one of your first questions is, I started out in the Variety Theatre, and I worked my way up. I started out as Little Lord Fauntleroy, and I grew up in the theatre. But the youngsters nowadays, you know, on Saturday night they're in a competition. On Monday morning they've got a number one record in the hit parade. You know, on Tuesday they're starring on Sunday night at the London Palladium, and the next day nobody knows who they are. Does that answer your question?
Yes, certainly does.
Anyway, as long as they leave me alone, they can do what they want. I'm not bothered.
Many of our listeners, of course, of your generation will remember you from your heyday. What message can you give to the patients here in Whipps Cross Hospital to lift their spirits?
Well, what I'd do if I were them to lift my spirits was I'd make sure I tuned into the repeats of my radio show, which is going to be repeated. Did you know that? Have they told you that?
So we get a second bite of
money for that, incidentally, you know. They're not paying me again for that, you know.
No? Don't you get repeat fees?
No, we don't get paid twice. Oh, no, you get paid once. Oh, they've got that all stitched up, the BBC. What's the fee for this, the one, then? Nobody's talking money to me. We'll talk about that when we've finished recording it. Yeah. We'll not fall out over £50 or £60 anyway. No.
That's about the budget of this station, so I think
we'll
probably go bust. But now, your memoirs have been published.
That's right, yes.
Looking back, what's a highlight of your life in showbiz?
Oh, dear, well, there have been so many, you know, and just meeting some of the great people I mentioned earlier in the interview. You know, Lawrence Olivier and all that bunch. I would say, though, my highlight of my life is yet to come.
So you feel your career hasn't yet reached its peak?
No, and I never take a day off. I work, and I just love it. I have a love for what I do, and I'm very lucky in that respect, aren't I? And not a lot of people can say that. So my highlight is yet to come.
Are you married, Count Arthur?
Pardon?
Are you married?
I'd rather not talk about deeply personal questions like that. Let's say we've all had affairs of the heart, haven't we, Ben?
Yeah.
And, you know, let's just leave that there where it is. You know, too many people could be offended. People that, you know, you might have heard of. So I'm not saying anything about Noel Gordon or anyone like that. Oh, it's a solid I shouldn't have said Noel Gordon.
We can edit that out, don't we? We'll edit that out.
Oh, thank goodness for that.
And you also have a web page. Did you design it yourself? Have you got someone doing it on your behalf? Because I can't really imagine you as a cyborg.
My people sorted that out for me on my behalf, but I was on the telephone all the way. Yes, I've very much got my touch to it as that Infinite Zone. Don't you worry about that. I supervise that all the way. They didn't make a move without asking me.
It's been brilliant having you on, Count Arthur.
It's been marvellous to be on. I've really enjoyed myself, Ben. I've thoroughly enjoyed myself.
And your next gig is, what is it, Edinburgh Festival?
Yes, I'll be doing a few shows prior to the Edinburgh Festival. That's some top London venues yet to be announced. So if anybody in hospital is better by then, or even if you're not, drag yourself out if you're sick, Ben, and get down there. You know, we'll probably do a reduction for you. If you say you're from Whips Cross, you know, Ben, we'll let you in for, well, 5% off. How about that? That's straight off the top of my head.
That's brilliant offer, Count Arthur. Much appreciated. And of course, your book, Through It All, I've Always Laughed, is out as well.
That's right.
And repeat, as you say, have the radio series.
Oh, it's marvellous. And the new series to follow in the autumn. Oh, it's all right for some, isn't it, Ben?
You're certainly, I think you're right. When you said the peak of your careers to come, it certainly seems that way.
I must be doing something right.
Well, thank you once again for coming on Whips Cross Hospital Radio and speaking to us.
Absolute pleasure and joy. Never a chore, Whips Cross.
We wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you very much.
We're going to be seeing a lot more of you, I'm sure.
I'm sure you will, if I have anything to do with it. Yes. All right, ta-ta, everybody.